Good afternoon, everyone. This is your girl, Unstoppable Shelby, activist Coretta Shelby. I am not here. I am here with Community T. Just left the meeting a little while ago concerning New World's Believers with the HOOP program. And I was reading your messages and seeing you all's concern. When I walked in the building, I was concerned too. It seemed like for us, for the dark-skinned family, it seemed like every time that there is a disturbance or a conflict of interest in our community, the stigmatism upsets me with law enforcement always being present. So I was definitely upset about that. Secondly, they did terminate all involvements with the HOOPS organization with New World Believers. And I want to make this clear because I don't want any slander out there. You know, I've been getting inbox messages talking about the money, and certain people been reaching out to me, wanted to make sure that it was no inappropriate uses of funding that had been distributed to that program. That wasn't the case. The case was the reason why they terminated the program was because of section code 11 that's in their bylaws that stated that whenever someone is arrested on their board, that they have to report it. Someone got arrested back in August, okay, and it was not reported. And then of course these allegations that's against Rodney, Mr. Rodney Jones is of great concern to them. So they terminated the program on those bases because, you know, it is innocent until proven guilty, but the very appearance of the accusation is not a good look. And me being a nonprofit organization analyst, I'm talking from a business standpoint. No one was there to bring any type of rebuttal or to even fight for the continuation of the program. It was only two people that spoke. I was one of them, and what I was speaking on is to reallocate the fundings, but don't take the fundings from within our community, but from within our community that's underserved, with underserved children. Don't take that out. And so they heard that, and they said that they already have several things in place. I do have some paperwork with that, but my main concern is I'm very upset because, for one, you know, we should, as a Black community, we should have more than just that program in place to help our children when things like this arises in our community. And we don't. That program was allocated and allotted for counseling, you know what I'm saying, and that was a plus. And so now that that's no more, these kids are now being uprooted from an environment that they trusted. And several parents did reach out. Several parents reached out to me in my inbox as well. And you know, I got up and I fought for the reallocation of the funding, to reallocate, you know, the funding, to redistribute them, to revise the program. I'm all for our young people, and a lot of things has kind of devolved a little bit with the violence and all of that. A lot of things just have submerged and came to a resting spot for our community. And just like I told the news reporter, because I did get interviewed, I told her that even though that she asked me how did I feel about the outcome of the funding of the money that's allocated to the program, and about the outcome, I said, okay, terminated the program because of the Section 11 violation of the codes, of them not reporting the arrest that was made in August, and them not reporting the arrest that was made. They basically had to find out through other sources all of this that was going on when it came down to the arrest of Rodney Jones and his 3 children. They didn't they didn't communicate to the program manager or anyone dealing with the Children's Trust. They did not reach out to them. So again, I am reiterating that it was no misappropriate use of fundings or anything like that of the reason why the program was suspended, under suspension. Now the program is completely terminated. So what we are trying to do is to we're going to stay in prayer that we can get those funds and get them reallocated. And I was very disappointed. And like I said, I'm not kicking anyone while they're down, but this is my profession and this is what I do. Okay, I have my degree in nonprofit organization management, which is realization. And no one was there to speak up. No one was there to talk. And this is the first ever that someone has been terminated from the program, since the program has been going on since 2003, if I'm not mistaken. But again, so I was very upset. I even got emotional and start crying. So if y'all see that on the video, just because I feel the burden of all of this, and when allegedly, and I'm just saying about our conduct should always be in place, because as Black Americans in a Black community, it's already hard enough for us to be allocated with anything dealing with funding and money. And then they turn around and say, well, the treasurer, she spoke out and she was like, well, have anyone, and I'm giving a shout out to Lumen, to council member May. He did fight for the Children's Trust. Has been out since 2020, and they allocated fundings to the Hoops program 2023. Thank you, Centoria, for fixing that for me. But they didn't have anything, because they didn't have they haven't heard a PR. No one came out to do a PR report. No one was, and Lumen, the commissioner, Lumen May, did speak out and was trying to rebuttal a lot and trying to speak and to bring, because they said that on the agenda it was a quoted that is a danger, and we was wondering where that danger came from. Like, who is in danger? You know what I'm saying? Is that why the law enforcement is in place? I mean, what is going on? We was offended. I know I was offended, but I was just like, maybe this is protocol. I don't know, but we don't act like this up north. But anyway, Lumen did address that. Like, he was like, who is in danger? Because isn't the funding suspended? And they was like, yes. Okay, well, again, who is in danger? You know what I'm saying? But again, these are, concerns and the allegations that's been written up in the media. And to speak on the Children's Trust, they did make a statement and say, while we was in the meeting, the chairman just spoke out. He was like, listen, the media would try to put us in a place of slander that's contradicting to what our goals really are for the program. And every meeting that they have is open to the public for everyone to be there. So, the treasurer and one of the treasurers that sits on the board to release funding said that the only time that they heard from the Hoops director was for the funding, right? And this is something that y'all gonna hear anyway. They didn't, no PR, nobody asked about nothing else. They said that they only called about the funding of the program. That's all they wanted to know about, was the funding. And all of this came out in the meeting. All of this is gonna come out even more. It's gonna hit the news. It's gonna hit, news reporters was there. A lot of people was there. I was definitely there, and I was the only person that spoke out. It was definitely a lot of other people there that was also concerned. Our new mayor-elect, Jermaine, was there and present. So I'm just saying that we just got to put some more stuff in place and to try to, because for me, in our community, it's like, we know our community, light skin, brown skin. We know our community. We know our people, and our people trust us. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just been a change in the guards. Okay. So we just got to figure out how we are going to or to get this money reallocated, because I'm believing that we can do something to keep the same logistics in place to revise the program, but just in a whole nother different brand and a whole nother different face. Because I'm not even going to hold you up. I was definitely upset as a nonprofit organization analyst. I did reach out and I did say, hey, I did reach out to the Jones family, and I did let them know it is time to do a PR. You have to, when you get in certain situations like this, you have to have a PR system. You should have came out with the PR, because it wasn't like the community was there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was there. Somebody was in the crowd that was there from the Hoops program, but nobody came up to speak to say, okay. Even one of the chair members was like, okay, well, can we just continue to keep this under, keep the Hoops program under full suspension until the investigation ends concerning these and they came back and said, due to the alleged charges, it's this thing called a premeditation in the bylaws, where if your name is inappropriately spoken of in a children's matter, then the attorneys that's for the trust fund spoke out and said that whenever these type of allegations come up, we can motion to totally terminate the program, because again, it is a trust fund for children. And when you read their statement, their mission statements and their bylaws, they are there to protect our children. And just as I stated, I stood up and I stated these words. I said, listen, I said, just as our Escambia County School Board, when it's a legal issue of allegations of any inappropriate conduct for as sexual assault or engaging inappropriately with the children, they don't shut down our schools. Look at the principal, quote me if I'm wrong, just here last year with PHS. They didn't shut down PHS. They just moved the person out of the way and kept going. You know what I'm saying? So that was my fight, and my focus was to pull the co-founder Latasha Jones out of the back, and hey, you come and be the face. Come and be the face of the brand that has been built. We could have had a fight. Something could have happened, but because that did not happen, because the PR wasn't written. All of that was stated. That was their main concern throughout the whole meeting. Nobody got in contact with them. They haven't heard from them. Nobody is reaching out. And then when one of the treasurers just said, well, she did reach out, and it was only about the money. And see, that was not a good look. And I'm talking on a professional basis. I'm not here to sugarcoat or to point fingers but accountability is necessary. You cannot get funding and not want to show up when things hit the ground. When you done hit rock bottom, you still show up. You ain't guilty of nothing. You know what I'm saying? You show up and you stand up for the children. You stand up for the community, and you let everything else fall in line. You let the courts deal with that. You had took him off your board. Okay. You have took the children off the board. We still, and I'm saying we, because we still had a fighting chance. We still had something to be revisited. And because no one showed up, because no one spoke up, the program is now dissolved. I mean, not the Children's Trust, because the Children's Trust help a lot of funding, and they help a lot of people. But what this has taught us, just like I said before, what this have taught us is that when I said on a podcast, we have a lot of learning to do. This is a new program, and so it's been out since 2020. But for our brown-skinned people that are now being involved to have inner city interaction, we have to be careful how we move and conduct ourselves, period, point blank. I am disappointed. I am upset. I am upset it was not a representative there from the Hoop program. You know what I'm saying? If you have a whole board in place, you have a matrix board in place, and now the children from our population, the population is about to be affected by the results of behavior of non-compliances that should have been made and put in place within the board in the Hoops program, and it's not. And it's just a lesson learned, and on a professional basis, this is what this live is about. I'm not kicking nobody while they're down. I'm saying it's accountability time. You know what I'm saying? Because they was still, everybody on that board was compassionate. It was not like, let's just end it now. We don't want nothing else to do with New World's Believers. Let's just stop it. Santoria Mutri, she was there, and she's here and is a part of Hedges and Highways. Listen, what we have going on, I done snatched her up anyway. She don't know it yet. But what we have going on is like, you know, we have to be careful. No, he did not misappropriate any fundings. No, he did not. No, he did not. What happened was, again, let me reiterate so it won't be no slander out there. He didn't, according to the bylaws in Section 11, they had every right to terminate the contract only because they did not report to them concerning issues at hand. In other words, if there would have been a damage control in place, if there would have been a PR person in place on their board to go and say, hey, we need to have an emergency meeting, this just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, this just happened. This warrant did not just pop up out of the blue. It takes 10 days to be served with a warrant. So you have to have your board in place to do PR. If not, we sitting there fighting for people that's absent. Like, I just knew, you know, and I understand that, you know, a lot is going on with Latasha. I get it totally. Hey, stand behind your family. Hey, stand behind your family. Hey, I'm not in a disagreement with that. I'm not. But on a professional level, in my field where I work at and what I do with my nonprofit, you have to have your PRs. You have to have management in place. It should have been a written letter. Someone should have called an emergency midnight meeting. I don't care. This should have been taken care of, and we would have had a fighting chance to try to save Hoops. But again, I am definitely upset, and you know, like I said, shouts out to Commissioner May. He did fight. He did speak out, because I did get up there and speak, and I said what needed to be said to try to reallocate the funding to keep that on their mind so we can put something in place. I don't know. But so far, the answer was they're going to take those children out of the environment that they were in and put them in another environment all around. So, again, I'm just totally upset. I thank God for y'all prayers, though, but those polices was not there for me. I just kind of got a little offended about, you know, that every time we have meetings and it's dealing with brown skinned people, that they are always there posted up. So, but, you know, like I said, it wasn't a good look for Hoops. It wasn't a good look for New World's Beginning. It wasn't a good look at all. And then it was a spokesman that was there that was saying that, well, one of the accountants was like, they said, Latasha stated that, you know, DJJ was going to continue their funding, and it was a representative that was there from DJJ was in the back and was like, everything stopped. I don't know what the truth is on that, but, you know, like I said, this is just my field that I work in, and, you know, professionalism is key. And, you know, I try to extend myself and put myself out there and put my name on the line and my neck on the line to try to help and save others with the wisdom that I know about how things roll. When you coming from an environment, you know, and people trust you, you have to have accountability to show up when things hit rock bottom. You still have to have a face for your brand for just in case. You still have to have people in place on your board to save what you have birthed. You know, people fall every day, but you still have people in place to try to help out and to do things the correct way. When you are over money in a community, and we are black and brown, and this was just a beautiful thing, and we can see the results of our children. We seen it, and I had parents reaching out to me, inboxing me, you know, they disturbed, they disappointed, and then to just fall back on you. Listen, I know you guys got family issues going on, but you still have a community that love you. You still have a community that say, hey, we're going to get through this. Surely, and again, these accusations, the charges are allegedly, but surely if we can rehabilitate a 2-time felon who went to prison for grooming young boys and molesting them, that is a pastor in this city still right now in Restoration Church, surely we can stand behind our own. And I am just, like I said, when we are dealing with nonprofit organizations and dealing with monies and dealing with grants and dealing with fundings, and DJJ was a total different entity that partnered with them and also brought their fundings into the Hoops program. Okay, so whenever you have things like this going on, you have to have good PRs. You got to have PRs in place to come out and fight. And like I said, the board was very, very remorseful. Nobody was on there like, you know, it wasn't that. They stuck to protocol. That's why it's good to have biologs in line. And this is just one for you guys to know, dealing with nonprofit organization management. When you are dealing with nonprofit organization management and you have something in your belly and you want to start up something, get you a matrix, get you a small matrix, get you a board, get your bylaws together. You should have bylaws and standards. You got to take up these courses. You got to know how to interact and intervene. And that's what I'm here for. My services have always been free to the community. I have never charged people to come and say, hey, can you help me build a matrix? Can you help me do a finance report for this and a financial plan and all of this. This is what I do. And just to be aggravated, I was so aggravated and hurt. And yeah, I did start crying, but I'm not going to keep babbling. I just wanted to let y'all know I was all right, because I was reading y'all posts. But we're going to still keep the Jones family in prayer. But this was sloppy. It was sloppy. It was sloppy. And I could chew my cabbage twice. It was sloppy. It was not professional. And it leaves our children hurt. It leaves the parents of our children hurt. And the Children's Trust had to reach out to those individuals that's within that that's within their reach. The DJJ is a totally different program, but it was a representative there from the DJJ, and he was upset as well. So, like I said, you know, we just have to. You're definitely in the know, Anita. You're definitely in the know. Like I said, I'm speaking from a professional standpoint. This have nothing to do with my personal feelings or relationships for the Joneses, because I do love them. But professionally, it should have, you know, a PR should have been in place. A PR should have been in place. Even a lawyer would have told you that. I mean, that's just public. A PR. Listen, if y'all out here got these nonprofits and got your 501c3s registered and is lit, call me so I can give y'all some information on what to do and how to do. So when things like this happen, you just don't drop the ball completely. Now the ball was already dropped, but it hadn't hit the ground. It hadn't hit the ground. Okay, so again, I love you all. This is your community tea, and I am not just with the mess. Goodbye. Have a good Friday. I love you guys.